is Matthew, and I am the Whisperist, and I am honored that you have chosen to spend a little bit of time with me. I hope that you will consider following along and adding my channel to your notifications. And if you like what you find here, maybe share it. I hope that your May is starting out in a glorious way. This has been a difficult season for me. I think some of it involves just the time of the year. It's like my body remembers the pain of going through a divorce and then coming out and doing that in a very public manner. And so I've realized once again that I need to really focus on my body and take care of me. I mean, overall, I'm doing really, really well. I've got nothing to complain about. And I know that it's not, pain is not a competition. But I just think it's important to acknowledge that so many of us are going through things or experiencing challenges that add complications and difficulties to our stories. And some of us are going through things that are life-altering. Some of us are remembering those things. We're experiencing the aftermath of those things. And some of us are going through a compound of things. We have friends walking through treatments and therapy that maybe the prognosis doesn't look so good. Or we're battling our own challenges, which is affecting our ability to feel joy, to embrace joy, to take care of ourselves. And so as I sat down to do this video, I was like, am I capable of doing this video and bringing some kind of relaxation to my audience and to you without allowing what I'm feeling to kind of get too much in the way? And I came to the conclusion that I needed to do some ASMR. that I needed to spend time with you in this safe and quiet and relaxing space. Because when I am creating content, it's a happy place for me. I love being able to provide a few moments where just the sound of my voice is bringing you comfort. Or maybe you feel seen by the words I'm saying. Or maybe you're just looking for some moments where you can stop and relax and think about you. It's okay to think about you. But it's been a season for me that is a bit difficult. 5 years ago I went through a divorce. And y'all, it was hard. Divorce is hard. Sometimes divorce is good, but divorce is hard. Sometimes divorce is necessary, but divorce is hard. And for us, it was necessary because I was gay and I was in a straight marriage, and I had been in the closet for so long. And so I was experiencing trauma, which was creating trauma for my ex-wife. And so this is the time of year where I feel it. This is the time of year where it all started, where we decided we needed to go into counseling, and it was kind of the beginning. And at the same time, I was losing a best friend who was in the hospital, and she was dying. And so this time of year just brings me into a space where I feel a lot. I cry a lot. And it's embarrassing to talk about, and I know it shouldn't be. But there's so much internalized fear of talking about your mental health or your emotional health. And some of it is for good reason, even though we all know people who are going through depression or going through anxiety or going through more serious mental health issues. And so I love that we have become a society that is more open to talking about things, but there's still a stigma around it, and there are assumptions in my head. There are assumptions in my head about you, hearing me talk about it. And I'm not even sure that makes complete sense. there's this fear within me, or this doubt that you have the capacity or the desire to sit and listen to the things that are going on in my story. And I think that that's a very untrue assumption. Listen, I don't think that everyone's going to sit and listen to me talk about, I'm having a few days where I don't feel like myself, or I feel down, and I feel distracted, and I feel uncreative. I know that. I know that some people are going to, zone out and swipe to the next piece of content, because I'm not saying that I wouldn't do the same thing. But I do think that there are some people who are very open to just hearing about somebody's challenges, because our challenges are what sometimes can unite us. Sometimes when I hear another person's challenges, it helps me feel seen. I don't share this in hopes that you'll make me feel okay, or make me feel like you're showing up. I just want you to feel seen, because I think that so many of us are going through situations and experiences that are weighing our brain down. And so it's been one of those times when being creative and being productive has been harder than usual. And in addition to this, my dad had a stroke, and I think I've talked about this before, but my family hasn't really had much to do with me since I came out. And so, my dad had a stroke on a Friday, and I didn't find out until Monday. And thankfully, he was okay. And so, he and I have texted a couple times, just very basic things about him being okay. And, despite him being 85, by some miracle, I guess, he is expected to make a full recovery. But the process of going through it just, it emphasized my fear that something could happen to a member of my family, and I wouldn't even be notified. And as weird as that sounds, it sounds so weird to say it out loud, but but it's true. And despite everything being really hard with my family, despite it being everything feeling broken with my mom and my dad and my sisters, I still love them. I still, part of me craves their affirmation. And I'm a 50-year-old man. And I still crave my family being accepting of me. I still crave, belonging. And a certain type of belonging. Because, the belonging that you feel from the people who raised you is a type of belonging that you don't easily receive from different people. And trust me, like my kids help me feel loved, and my ex-wife, if you're gonna have an ex-wife, you should have my ex-wife, because she's incredible. She's really, really good. She's a good human. And she helps me feel like I belong every single day. But, the belonging that you get from your mom or your dad, that affirmation, it's something that you don't get from just anybody. And so, yeah, this last couple days have been hard. And so I have wanted to sit down and do some ASMR for y'all. But it was like, I can't sit down and just share my favorite things and pretend. That just isn't me as a human. I feel I have to be real and open and vulnerable, because that's who I am. And sometimes I regret being vulnerable. Sometimes vulnerability is a liability. But even when I regret it, sometimes it's still me. It's still me. And so I'm gonna be me. And in making this content, I believe that I am also helping myself. I'm also being filled by the process of doing something that I love to do, that I genuinely feel alive when I'm doing it. That probably sounds very silly, but it's true. So, how are you doing? What's going on in your story that is good, that's bringing you joy, that's shining light on your path? challenges that you're facing that feel overwhelming, that make you feel like you're the only one going through it, that make you feel like you're gonna go crazy for a little bit, that make you have a little bit of a short fuse with other people. That make you feel alone. If you've got any of that going on in your story, I see you. And I get it. And I just want you to feel safe. And I want us to breathe. I want us to breathe through the pain and the anxiety and the sadness and the longing together. And I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Because we all have moments when we feel like we're the only ones going through this great sadness, or that we're feeling this deep longing. I know deep down that what I went through 5 years ago was necessary and was good. And most of the time, my body is not responding to the pain of it. My body is responding to the joy that came after, the life that came after, the resurrection that happened in me personally after walking through that. But there's also grief. There's also grief. And there was loss. And so, I hope that wherever you are right now, you know that you are worthy of good things happening in your story. I want you to know that I am worthy of good things happening in my story. That does not negate or take away all the challenges that we face as humans. That worthiness does not heal all the wounds. But sometimes we have to remind ourselves and remind each other that we are worthy. And you are worthy. I'm worthy. You belong and I belong. You have light in you and I have light in me. No matter what we're going through, there's light that exists deep within us. May we all find it, and may we all shine it on each other.